Emir Sanusi arrives Government House to begin official engagement. Police rescue 5 kidnapped victims in Kogi Forest. And fire guts NNPC filling station in Lagos. On the international scene, Antonio Guterres calls for greater African role in global peace and security. Hello there and welcome to the news update on Trust TV. I'm Saki O'Brien. The reinstated Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi Lamido, has arrived at the Kano Govt House to officially receive his appointment letter and resume work as the sole first-class Emir of the state. Our reports say the Emir arrives at Kano since Thursday evening in a low-key homecoming courtesy of security advice and had spent the night at Kano Govt House. All is now set for the much-anticipated event that will usher the Emir to his first outing in the public since his reinstatement. He is expected to be at the Africa House in Kano Govt House for a mini Durbar ceremony by 10 a.m. today, from where he will then proceed to the Nasarawa Emir's Palace. The Emir will then proceed to lead the Jamaat Friday prayers at the Kano Central Mosque located at the Emir's Palace, Kofar Kudu. Meanwhile, the Kano court has granted an interim injunction restraining the Inspector General of Police, Kano State Police Commissioner, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, and the Department of State Services, the DSS, from enforcing, executing, implementing, or operationalizing the Kano State Emirate Council repeal law. Justice Abdullahi Muhammad Liman of the Federal High Court, Kano, granted the order upon motion ex parte by Aminu Babba Dan Agundi, who held the title Sarkin Kim Babba. The court granted leave to the plaintiff to serve their concurrent originating motion and other court processes on the IGP in Abuja. The interim order was granted after hearing counsel to Aminu Babba Dan Agunti Ibrahim Aliyu Nasarawa, supported by an affidavit sworn to by one Halima Abdul Ganiyu. And in security, the Kogi State Police Command rescued 5 victims kidnapped earlier at Arishwari area of Ajaokuta, Kogi Central. They were said to have been rescued in Adogo Forest near Ajaokuta in Kogi Central by the police led by SP Yusuf Hansi in collaboration with the local vigilantes on Thursday. A statement issued in the early hours of Friday, the State Police Public Relations Officer SP Williams Aya stated that the victims were kidnapped on the 17th of May 2024 while on transit along the Ajaokuta-Adogo road. He said the operatives, while on a rescue mission, combed the bushes and invaded the kidnappers' den. The hoodlums engaged the team in a gun duel. However, due to the superior firepower of the team, the hoodlums abandoned their victims and fled. According to him, all the victims were rescued unhurt. And still in security, a police officer, names withheld, has been remanded over the killing of a resident of Biajin, Abuja, Onyebuchi Anene. A statement by the command spokeswoman, SP Ade Josephine, on Thursday night said the FCT Commissioner of Police, CP Benneth Igwe, has ordered the Criminal Investigation Department to commence an immediate, discreet investigation into the circumstances surrounding the deceased's death. She said late Anene was shot dead through accidental discharge by the police officer on Wednesday, May 22nd, around 9:45 p.m. in Biajin, an Abuja suburb in the nation's capital. She said the police officer responsible for the accidental discharge is in custody, while the CP expressed profound and heartfelt condolences to the bereaved family and the public at large. Until the National Assembly, a bill seeking to revert to Nigeria's old national anthem has passed second reading in the Nigerian Senate. The old anthem, Nigeria We Hail Thee, was replaced with the current one, Arise, O Compatriots, in 1978 during the Olusegun Obasanjo regime. Details from Thursday's plenary. Take a look.
The bill, which was sponsored by the leader of the Senate, Okpeyemi Bamidele, got overwhelming support from his colleagues during plenary.
President, my respected colleagues, this bill seeks to make provision for Nigeria to revert to its old national anthem that will promote better symbol for unity, peace, and prosperity compared to the current one.
Lawmakers who unanimously supported the proposed bill say the current national anthem is a product of a decree by the military junta and therefore should be discarded to adequately capture the nation's democratic values, integrity, and also foster commitment to nationhood.
The national anthem that is currently in use is a product of a military junta, which is not a product of consensus ad idem of Nigerians, and therefore does not reflect the wishes and aspirations of Nigerians.
So I support that this bill should be read for a second time because it arouses patriotism and a call to defend the nation at very challenging and competing times. So if we bring it back, I'll tell you that our children and all of us will be more committed to realizing the ideals of nationhood.
English colleagues, a bill for an act to provide for the national anthem of Nigeria and for matters related thereto, 2024, second reading taken. This bill is now committed to the Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters, in addition to the Committee on Federal Character and Intergovernmental Affairs, to report back to the Senate as soon as possible.
If the bill scales through, the existing national anthem will be replaced by the old one. Also, the Nigerian Senate has urged the Ministry of Aviation and the Nigerian Air Force to take over and convert the abandoned Shell airstrip at Oloibiri Oil Well 1 to a modern Air Force base in Bayelsa State. The resolution followed a motion brought to the floor by Senator representing Bayelsa East, Senator Benson Agadaga, during Thursday's plenary. Lawmakers who contributed to the debate lamented the deplorable state of the facility following the decline of oil exploration activities in the area.
My motion is on the urgent need for transformation of the abandoned Shell airstrip at Utogidi, Oloibiri Oil Well 1, Utogidi, Nogwel Government area of Bayelsa State, to an Air Force base.
Security is virtually everything. If you think it is too much to secure the country, try the cost of its security. And the Air Force that I know, we have a base in Kaduna, we have a base in Lagos, we probably have a base in Makurdi. I think it is right and fitting and equitable, and in terms of logistics, it is appropriate to have an Air Force base in that part of the South-South.
I'm in full support of reviving this airstrip. But I need to correct an impression first that there is no Air Force base in South-South. That is not true. There is an Air Force base in Port Harcourt Township. But the critical nature of this airstrip is that, just like distinguished Senator Benga Daniel said, that miscreants are misusing that place for illegality against this country.
Responsible for the security implications of what will happen in that airstrip. Now that the place is abandoned, it is my submission that it is indeed a security risk to leave it unattended. For whatever it's worth, since it is an airstrip that is existing, I'm not saying that there's a lot of money that requires to be spent to go and take it over. I think the minimum that should happen is that the Nigerian Air Force, even if it's for reasons of security, should go and take over the airstrip nearly immediately.
President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, while ruling on the resolutions, expressed hope that upgrading the abandoned airstrip to an Air Force base will bring renewed hope to the people.
There was the first oil well ever discovered in Nigeria in 1956. Very sadly, some years ago, I was shocked to realize that that area had no electricity for over 33 years. the whole of that community had no electricity. The moment the oil companies move out after they conclude the excavation.
The Senate, however, resolved that oil companies in Nigeria should contribute funds towards the upgrade of the abandoned airstrip.
And similarly, the House of Representatives on Thursday passed for third reading a bill reverting the country to the old national anthem, Nigeria We Hail Thee. The bill, sponsored by the majority leader of the House, Julius Ihonvere, underwent an accelerated consideration on the floor of the House before passage. The passage of the bill came despite oppositions by the minority leader of the House, Kingsley Chinda, and some other lawmakers. Chinda said the old anthem has a colonial tag, which was the reason for the new anthem. The lawmaker, who noted that the old anthem was authored and composed by Britons, questioned the importance of the anthem change at a time of more important challenges in the country. However, the bill was given expedited passage and subsequently passed by the lawmakers.
It talks about the value of our national flag, which people tend to take for granted. In fact, some nations have gone to war because people abused the national flag. It proceeds to talk about it as a symbol of what we represent as a people. Nigerians, people known all over the world. There's a video trending now which says that Nigerians are the new colonizers, and goes on to describe what we have done, intellectual sector, in IT, in music, in culture, in sports, you name it. And that we should all continue to join hands, though tribes and tongues may differ.
How many of Nigerians have faith in the country? Go and assess. Most Nigerians have lost confidence, have lost faith in the country. You don't need a soothsayer to tell you that people are not happy on their faces.
Today we are taking ourselves back to that old national anthem. Incidentally, I will even ask again, is this very important at this particular juncture in our national life? What value would it add to us as a nation? I think that these questions need to be answered. Nigerians are looking up to us for more fundamental issues that will cause proper change.
Somebody, and many of my types, in our early 40s, I don't know how this national anthem even affect the well-being of the common man in Nigeria. Let's be realistic. How this one will support the government to stop either hunger, banditry, or improve insecurity. To us, let's do what is beneficial to the common man, and this honorable chamber is the only, for now, standing on a formidable force, a point for the common man of Nigeria.
Representing Idato North-South Federal Constituency of Imo State in the House of Representatives, Ikenga Ogochinyere, on Thursday accused the national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Umar Damagum, of acting out a script to destroy the party and render it incapable of contesting the 2027 elections. In a news conference at the National Assembly complex, Ugochinyere enjoined governors, lawmakers, and leaders of the People's Democratic Party to rise up and speak out with a view to saving the party from those he called agents of the ruling All Progressives Congress. Here's the report.
Ugochinyere further stated that Damagum has gone against the tenets of the agreement reached at the last National Executive Council meeting of the PDP, which allowed him to remain in office until August, when a new chairman will be elected, by desperately obtaining a court injunction against his removal.
Each of these reverse case and each of these expert applications, numerous of them that I don't want to waste time reading, most of you can Google it, all before either Justice James Omotosho or Inyaniko, each expert. And once they are filed, in few hours they are assigned to this same particular people. And this thing keeps turning up and nobody is talking. Gentlemen, like I said, the list is endless. Now, this lawyer who have been dragging PDP in all these cases is now the lawyer who is now representing PDP in this current suit, which is against the interest of the party. How did the switch happen? It must have started when, in a bid to perpetuate Umar Damagum in office to serve the interests of his APC masters, that Joshua Musa, representing Mr. Damagum, that was brought in, and he dragged PDP to court and even obtained an order restraining PDP from removing Damagum from office.
He said Damagum has further shown his support and preference for the APC by going to court to file a suit challenging the prayers by the Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara to declare the seats of 27 lawmakers from Rivers State who defected to the APC vacant on the ground that it is only the party that can determine who its members are or not.
I call on PDP governors, senators, and House of Representative members who are keeping quiet. You all will cry one day if this party is allowed to sink. You will be shedding crocodile tears when the time comes, when the election time comes, when the same people will use their structures at different states to annihilate you. So it is in our interest to all come together to say, let us do the right thing. This is another early warning for the party and those who believe in it to stand up and save the soul of the party before irreversible damage is done to the once glorious, biggest, Africa's biggest political party.
He called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to pay close attention to developments within the polity, lest Nigeria's democracy sleep off under his watch.
The news update on Trust TV coming up shortly. Gombe residents call for enforcement of Child Rights Act. More news right after this break. Join us again. Thanks for staying. It's still the news update on Trust TV. Now recap of the headlines again. Emir Sanusi arrives Government House to begin official engagement. And police rescue 5 kidnapped victims in Kogi Forest. To more news now, a Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation filling station near Fadei bus stop has got fire. An ex-user, Oladele, who identifies as the Oladele Dada, sharing a video, said NNPC close to Fadei bus stop is burning seriously. At Jude Sanwo-Olu, a lot of houses and businesses are beside the petrol station. Please retreat until Lagos State firefighters sees this. Another eyewitness, Ore, who tweets as Oreolua, added, just past there and just one firefighter bus tanker is there.
Yes, I know now.
Well, there you have it. To other news now. Child labor, which manifests in several shades, has negatively affected the future of thousands of Nigerian children in different parts of the country. Most people have little or no knowledge of the actual meaning of child abuse and labor. According to lawyers, a lack of child labor law enforcement agencies in the grassroots continuously deprive children of parental love, education, healthcare, and a safe childhood. Trust TV's Hassan Kuli has more.
Many underage children are engaged in paid and unpaid forms of work, which is classified as child laborers. Others are involved in hazardous activities that may affect their physical, moral, mental, and social well-being. According to lawyers, there are many forms of child abuse and labor committed in Gombe that are not reported or filed officially due to cultural and religious settings.
Basically, here in Gombe, we don't normally experience much cases of child labor or child abuse here in Gombe. Reason being that the people of the community, they have their own different perception about the issue of child when it comes to the issue of child labor or offenses committed against a child here in Gombe. For instance, on the issue of a marriage of a child who is under 18, like a girl child who is under 18 years of age, if you have been given in marriage according to the Child Rights Act, then the punishment will be 500,000 naira fine or 5 years imprisonment. or any person who participate, promote, or betroth a child or a girl child who being the age of under 18.
Some residents in Gombe say the issue of child abuse and labor is obvious, but unfortunately, people are no longer care about child rights in communities. Children are abused on a daily basis. Sometimes you can come across a child crying on the street and he will tell you that one stranger slapped him, snatched his belongings or abused him. It is worrisome and the government has to take severe punishment on the violators. Communities too have to play a part as this is a collective responsibility. A lot of parents are responsible for child labor and abuse. They are sending their children to faraway places to seek Islamic knowledge without checking up on them. As such, children tend to look for food by any means, which will result in them being abused or engaged in child labor. Parents and guidance should fear Allah, as they will ask how they treated their children thereafter. For Musa Ismail, enacting state-owned Child Rights Act will help reduce the menace of child abuse and child labor in Gombe State.
I think here in Gombe it is right time that Gombe State government should establish a children and young persons law, which is belonging to Gombe State government, which will contain the administration of the trial and everything for the young person here in Gombe, particularly, if possible, which the law should emanate or originate or initiate from the State House of Assembly or from the Gombe State government, that is executive V. I think going by that, it will curtail or mitigate or reduce the rate of human rights violation against child or exploitation or child labor here in Gombe.
According to a report by the National Bureau of Statistics, over 24 million Nigerian children between the ages of 5 and 17 are involved in child labor. Hassan Lawan Koli, Trust TV News, Gombe.
And on the international scene, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has told the Security Council on Thursday that peace was the key to unlocking Africa's future and to strengthening the continent's voice and influence in building peace globally. Guterres described Africa as an important voice for the global good and said it had shown many examples of unity and solidarity in a fractured world. He said the UN and the African Union were working together to diffuse conflicts before they escalate, manage them effectively when they occur, and build sustainable peace when they are resolved. According to him, there was a need to rectify structural inequalities at the UN and give African countries a seat at the negotiating table. He said the UN's Summit of the Future, due to take place in New York in September, will be an opportunity to push forward on these issues.
Africa is an important voice for the global good. The continent is home to many examples of unity and solidarity in a fractured world. We see this unity in Africa's focus on ending poverty and hunger, supporting refugees fleeing across borders, and achieving sustainable development. And we see it in the continent's efforts to work together to build a modern, diverse, innovative, and powerful continental economy to benefit all Africans.
UN Secretary General there, Antonio Guterres. And in sports, the Lagos Derby awaits football lovers across the country as Inter Lagos and Ikorodu City battle each other in the President's Federation Cup round of 16. Both NNL teams that will compete in the Super 8 playoffs in Enugu will be looking forward to another showdown in the 2023-2024 President Federation Cup for a place in the quarterfinals. Ikorodu City had beaten Local City 2-1 in the round of 32, while Inter Lagos triumphed 4-1 via an intense penalty shootout victory over Hamola FC after it ended goalless at regulation time. In the other fixtures, Sunshine Stars will take on Rivers United in an all-NPFL tie, while Katsina United confront Kano Pillars. Emba FC face a tricky tie against NNL giant Sokoto United, who dumped out Nasarawa United, while surprise package Wiki Tourist will battle EFCC United. Also, Stefano Pioli has been sacked as head coach of AC Milan 2 years after guiding them to the Serie A title. The Italian giants announced on Friday. AC said in a statement that Pioli will be departing after the end of the current season, after having been in charge of the first team since October 2019. And that wraps up the news update of this hour. Well, to follow us across all of our social platforms and catch our live stream on YouTube for more news programs and documentaries. I'm Sakir Ibrahim. Thanks for watching. Join us again.